Hey trail runners, my name is Christopher and I'm with Get Out There magazine. Today we're having a look at two different trail shoes. We've got the Hierro V8 by New Balance, as well as the Adidas Agravic Speed Ultra. So there's no point beating around the bush here. The Adidas will be the faster, higher performing shoe for most people. But does that make it the right choice for you? Let's have a look. Let's start with some specs. For weight, we've got the men's size 9. The Hierro weighs 318 grams. This is compared to the much lighter Agravic, which is 269 grams in size 9. The Hierro has a heel to toe offset of 6 millimeters with a heel height of 38 millimeters. In contrast, we've got the Adidas, which is a heel drop of 8 millimeters with a whopping 42 in the heel. Let's chat about the uppers. There's a lot more to the upper of the Hierro compared to the Agravic, both with pros and cons. It is an engineered mesh, reducing breathability, something I personally haven't had any issues with, but I'm also yet to run in this shoe on a hot day. I've also heard complaints about the tongue not being gusseted, something else that I have personally not had any issues with. I find the tongue to be quite padded, and therefore tying it up, even though it ties up perhaps a bit awkwardly, I had no comfort issues whatsoever. Comparatively, the Agravic is a synthetic upper. It is gusseted in the tongue, again with some pros and cons. I have heard some complaints about the material of the tongue bunching up and causing some blisters. I've heard it from multiple different sources, so it is something to keep in mind when getting this shoe. Perhaps don't use this shoe for a long run in your first time out, just to see how the feet adapt. On another note, I've always been a fan of the Adidas fit. Of course, we all have different feet, but I'm a huge fan of how they fit pretty snug in the midfoot, but still allow space in the forefoot for my toes to spread. In the midsole of the Hierro, we've got New Balance's Fresh Foam X. It's an advanced EVA based foam, which means it's plush but not super springy relative to some other options. The Agravic uses Adidas Light Strike Pro Foam. This is Adidas premium foam and it doesn't disappoint. It has a high performance energy return and is also impressively durable. The midsole is also embedded with energy rods for lightweight stiffness, and it also has a pretty aggressive rocker, especially for a trail shoe. All these technologies and more contribute to the shoe being one of the fastest on the market. The trade-off is stability and agility on the trail, so it's not a home run on every race course. Okay, the outsoles. Both have fantastic outsoles, with the Hierro using the eco-friendly Vibram with the 4 millimeter lugs, and the Agravic using Continental rubber with both 2.5 and 3 millimeter lugs. Neither are going to do wonders for you in the mud or steep and slick conditions, but I see this as a good thing. This would be a good time to segue into what I think these shoes are best used for. So simply put, the Hierro is a versatile shoe, conquering terrain from moderately aggressive trails all the way down to pavement. The Agravic is a race shoe, and a very fast race shoe. But we do have some similarities here. Like, I would not intentionally pick either of these shoes for any run I would consider predominantly technical. Although, if I got stuck descending on some rocky terrain in the Hierro, I would be just fine. I would be slow, but I'd be fine. If I got stuck on a gnarly descent in the Agravic, I'm definitely not loving life and vastly underperforming almost any other trail shoe. Rather, I'm going to be spending the majority of my time on easy to only moderately challenging trails, and even some road. So I don't need big lugs for either of those conditions. So on firmer ground, bigger lugs would raise the shoe even more off the ground, making these already non-technical shoes even less stable. Okay, so price, not even in the same ballpark. The Hierro is a reasonable $190 on the New Balance Canada site, and all the dreamy responsiveness and weight reducing materials of the Agravic are going to cost you $300 on the Adidas website. To wrap up, perhaps you clicked on this video for some information on just one of these shoes, but hopefully you got some useful information about another option that you hadn't previously considered. And if you're like me, you'll find a spot on your shoe shelf for both of these options. Peace.